So now we'll talk about linear dependency and independency. So first of all, what is linear dependent? So we will consider a vector pool. What do you mean by vector pool? So bunch of vectors we will consider here. A vector, B vector, C vector and D vector. There are four vectors inside the pool. Now linear dependency means one vector inside the pool this should be any one vector, okay? So you can say, if you want, any one vector inside the pool can be written in terms of other vectors. If this condition holds true, we call the vectors are linearly dependent. Now we'll understand what it means. So now if I get an example, so here I'm saying any one vector inside the pool can be written in terms of other vectors. So for example, I will get a vector. So a vector should be written in terms of other vectors. So I could say k1 b vector plus k2 c vector plus k3 d vector. So if this satisfies, we call linearly dependent. Why linearly dependent? A vector can be written in terms of other vectors. So obviously we have to involve k1, k2, k3. Those are constant, right? Those are constants. So obviously we have to do that. We have to involve. We can't just write a vector by ABC itself. There should be coefficients involved in this. Now another example, if you want to write b vector in terms of other vectors, we should be able to write this time I will get gamma 1 a vector plus gamma 2 c vector plus gamma 3 d vector. So we should be able to write any vector which is inside the pool in terms of the rest of the vectors. So if this holds true, we call all these vectors are linearly dependent. They are depending each other. Okay, so that's the understanding. Now, most of the time you don't get such a situation, like you don't get a format like this, right? Most of the time you get something like this. Most of the time you get something like this. 0 is equal to k1 a vector plus k2 b vector plus k3 c vector plus k4 d vector. Most of the time you get a relation like this, and still we call linearly dependent. Now we have to understand why still we call linearly dependent. Now this is obvious that if you want, you can bring this one into the other side. So if you bring that to the other side, you get minus k1 a vector is equal to k2 b vector plus k3 c vector plus k4 d vector. Now if you want, you can rename k1 vector as k1 prime vector, a vector, k2 b vector, k3 c vector, k4 d vector. So now this is linearly dependent, right? So this is the linearly dependent form now. So now it is obvious that if you have a situation like this, still you can think the vectors are linearly dependent to each other. Why? Because you can play with the vectors. You can sort of bring the vectors to the other side, and you can subject one vector so that we can see that vector is written in terms of the rest of the vectors. So now if we are thinking of linear dependence of three vectors, linear dependence of three vectors, so we can have vectors A vector, B vector, C vector. If they are linearly dependent, so you can say A vector is equal to M vector times B plus N vector times C, something like that. So if you can write A vector in terms of B and C, those vectors are linearly dependent to each other. So linearly independent means linear dependency wouldn't hold true. Wouldn't hold true. For example, three vector system. So three vector system. If you have A vector, B vector and C vector, A vector cannot be written in terms of B vector and C vector. So if this holds true, we call it they are linearly independent. So you can't write one vector in terms of other vectors. So that's the opposite of linear dependency. Common condition for linear dependency. Okay. Suppose A and B, A vector, comma B vector, are linearly independent. Linearly independent. Then, if you write K1 A vector plus K2 B vector, right? Suppose this is my P vector. Then again, you are writing this P vector, same P vector, by gamma 1 vector plus gamma 2 B vector, same P vector. Okay, so that will tell you K1A, K2B is equal to gamma 1A plus gamma 2B. If they are linearly independent, okay, if they are linearly independent, now sort of we can rearrange this equation. Suppose this equation is 1. We will rearrange this equation by taking these values to the left hand side. So you can say K1 minus gamma 1 A vector plus K2 minus gamma 2 B vector is equal to 0. Right. Now, you know from here, not here. Where did I explain that? From here. So you know from here, this will show you a linear dependency. This will show you a linear dependency. 0 and the rest of the vectors are written in the right hand side. So the way I construct it, this one also shows linear dependency. Shows linear dependency. But here we talk about linear independency. Linear independency. That means this relation shouldn't hold true. This relation shouldn't hold true. So then what will happen? Then if this relation shouldn't hold true for linear independency, you can suggest that this term should be 0 and this term should be 0. So k1 minus gamma 1 should be 0 and k2 minus gamma 2 should be 0 under this construction. Okay, so now as an example, we will consider there are three vectors ABC, right? If they are linearly dependent, right? If they are linearly dependent, what should it would be? It would be, k1 times A plus k2 times B plus k3 times C should be is equal to 0. This is the condition if they are linearly dependent, right? So in some books, in some text, they write k1, 2, 3, 1, like in this matrix form, plus k2, minus 4, 6 and 5, plus k3, this can be written as 1, 0, 0 is equal to 0. Okay, if they're linearly dependent, so this should hold true, right? Now, if they're linearly independent, if they are linearly independent, you can't say k1, k1a, k2b, k3c is equal to 0, right? Because they are independent to each other. So then only solution you can think of is k1 should be equal to 0, k2 should be equal to 0, k3 should be equal to 0. So that's what I'm saying here. See, in this example also, so in this theory, you can see k1 minus alpha 1. That can be considered to be, one other constant. K2 minus gamma 2 can be considered to be another constant. So, if they are linearly independent, if they are linearly independent, the coefficients are individually goes to 0. That's what I did here. Similarly, here, if ABC is given to you, if they are linearly dependent, you can write as a linear dependent form, like this form. Now, if they are linearly independent, those coefficients, k1, k2, k3, should be individually 0, like that. Okay, in collinearity, first of all, we need to know what is collinear. Collinear means on the same line, right? So that means A, C, B are collinear points. Now, we can write this in this way. If AC vector is equal to M times AB. What do you mean by that? So this will tell you that AC vector and AB vector is parallel to each other, right? So this will tell you AC is parallel to AB. But it wouldn't tell you that ABC points are collinear to each other. AC can be this, AB can be this. That's what it says. Okay. Now, collinear means on the same line. So there is another condition to be satisfied if they are collinear. That would be this. C vector should be is equal to 1 minus M A plus MB. If this happens, they are collinear. So for the collinearity, the condition would be AC vector should be written in terms of MAB. Also, C vector should be able to write 1 minus MA plus M times B. If these two holds true, if these two holds true, it's true, we call ABCR collinear. Okay, so now how do we understand this? Let's see. Now we know AC vector is m times AB vector. So in this case, m is less than 1, right? So now, what is C vector? Okay, so because here we have C, so we will try to get the other condition from the geometry. So C vector, the next condition from Z vector, C vector is nothing but OA vector plus AC vector. Now OA vector is A vector, AC vector from here is m times AB. Right? So now what is AB vector? What is AB vector? AB vector is B minus A, right? How do you know? Because this will help you. B comes first, A comes second. See, B comes first, A comes second. So AB vector would be B minus A. So you can write A vector plus m times AB would be B vector minus A vector. That would be your C vector. Right? So now we can simplify this a little bit. So you have A vector here minus m times A vector plus m times B vector here. This is C vector. So if you simplify this a little bit, 1 minus m A vector plus m times B vector is equal to C vector. So that would be the second condition, and we proved it. So that condition would be this. So again, remember, the condition to be collinear is this over here. AC should be is equal to MAB. That by itself wouldn't tell you they are collinear. That tells you AC is parallel with AB. To have the collinearity, you should have another condition. That condition is C is equal to 1 minus MA plus MB. We derived that from this geometry. So we drew this geometry so that ACB are collinear to each other. And from that geometry, we proved the condition, the second condition to be.